podcasts? Do you love great Australian podcasts? Of course you do. Australians make incredible podcasts. And if you want to stay up to date with the best Australian shows, then check out Oz Podcast. Look for us on social media and find your new favourite show from the Australian podcast directory on ozpodcast.com.au. That's OZPODCASTS, ozpodcast.com.au. Check it out.
If you like new stuff before anybody else, if you like to keep your finger on the pulse, if you like the future and want to be in it, keep on listening because we'll start in a minute. Techwebcast, the hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Techwebcast, cause technology it moves so fast. Techwebcast, ha, stick around and you're gonna have a blast. Yeah, Techwebcast, ha, ha, Techwebcast. Let's go.
Welcome to episode 302 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on the 23rd of August 2014. Techwebcast is recorded every Saturday at midday Melbourne time. Please rate us on iTunes and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Techwebcast. Also follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast. Your hosts today are Brad, Steve, Jennifer, Jody, and myself, Andrew. And our special guest today is Lucas Callahan from Aussie Pickers, which you can watch on the A&E channel on Foxtel. And finally, later in the show, we have an early recorded interview with Peter Hitchener, 6 p.m. news anchor for Channel 9 Melbourne. How are you today, Brad?
I'm going well, mate, and yourself?
Doing very, very well. We are getting some very nice weather now in Melbourne, aren't we?
We are indeed. Beautiful
day yesterday and a beautiful day today. So, should be good.
How harsh is that? For people in Sydney, it's absolutely coming out of cats and dogs here.
Well,
Stop showing off.
Move to Melbourne. That's the best weather.
There you go.
Don't tempt me. Truly, I'll be there in a heartbeat.
All right, mate. Okay, Andrew, how's your week been, buddy? And
it's been pretty good, Brad. Just been busy with a few bits and pieces, and it's been good. And we spent some time yesterday over at Channel 9, which was a whole lot of fun. So, it's been a really good week, actually.
And yesterday was a good day meeting Peter, and he's a very interesting guy, and the studio, very cool.
Yeah, he is. He took us for a tour around Channel 9 studio, which was a whole lot of fun, and we saw, the footy show and a whole bunch of other places down there, and then we had to sit down, had a coffee with Peter and ran through some stuff, and he's a bit of a Mac head, which was quite interesting, but I won't go into too much detail on that because we'll run that later in the show.
Can't wait to hear that. Jennifer, how are you? How's your week been?
Hey, my week has been fantastic. Work has been crazy busy. We launched a whole new slew of rate plans. So it's been really busy. A lot of different marketing initiatives going on. So, but pretty good. Yeah. I got a drone. I got a little mini drone. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, wow.
Wow, very cool.
How much was that?
It was just a mini one. It was only it only sells for $100, so it's just a small one. But it's fun to play around with. It flies around, and so
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Jody. Jody, how's your week been? And welcome back.
Yay!
My week has been fantastic, particularly because I'm super excited about talking with our friend Lucas Callahan.
Yay! Jones, how long has it been?
Right.
It's got to be at least a year almost.
I know, and I still haven't gotten to Australia. What's up with that?
Oh, well, busy, I'm sure. Have you got a drone?
No, I have no drone.
You should see the videos on Pickers. It's awesome. I can really relate to Jen and the whole drone fascination because it is incredible. I mean,
cool.
I don't know if you've seen the latest edition of Pickers, but this drone is phenomenal. The guys that operate it, it's an absolute laugh. It's flown into a few trees, a couple of birds, fallen out of the sky several times, and you've got all this equipment hanging off the bottom of it.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
It's an incredible device. I mean, really, the way the technology has changed.
Super
I bet
cool.
it's a ton of fun to play with.
It is.
Yeah. How great. Have you got some great footage from it?
unbelievable. Like, it's kind of strange that on Pickers 1, we basically kind of had to tell people where we were, and it never works as well as a photo, you know what I mean? So this year they've been launching the drone a lot. We've got, pretty complicated one with some nice camera setups on it. And you can actually just see how in the middle of the outback we actually are when you go up, 150 feet, and the only house you can see is the one we're at. Everything else is just desert.
Oh, that is so cool.
Very cool. I've got Steve back on. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, how you doing? Quite a bit's been going on. My Nexus 7 died after 6 weeks, and then
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock by that, and that's why I don't buy Android stuff.
Yeah. Well, and wait, there's more. My brother, I guess, just posted on his Facebook page. He did the ice bucket challenge. He's challenging me. I might consider it. And then, of course, we're going to record that for the show, and then post everywhere. And then talking about, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have a bone to pick with this ice bucket challenge, because
Awesome.
Here's the concept is either you douse yourself with a bucket of ice water or you make a donation.
Yeah.
So don't you think if somebody's dousing themselves with a bucket of ice water, they're being a cheapskate?
It's
Don't they get a donation for every ice bucket that they douse themselves with, though?
If you got
I think
sponsors.
a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are still donating in addition to doing the ice bucket.
So when you ice bucket, you don't get a donation from somewhere like Coles, Woolworths, or there is a larger corporation out there that goes, if everyone that we see that douses us with an ice bucket wearing a logo of some sort, that they pay. So it's actually getting out of, paying by dousing yourself in an ice bucket.
I'm not sure.
Theoretically,
Yeah, that's the theory.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's basically you either do it. So if somebody nominates you, you either do it and you ice bucket, you throw the ice over your head, or if you don't do it, you pay the donation of $100. So it's kind of like the loser fee if you decide not to do it. But it's interesting.
Line,
so if you just do it yourself, you douse yourself in water. It's like, woohoo, go ALS. They didn't get a buck for that. They got nothing for that. All you got was cold ice water out in the backyard. It doesn't help them.
Have any of you guys seen the fails? Have you seen the fails?
I did. I saw them yesterday.
How good are they? Now
Great.
they should be paying extra. I mean, anyone that can't lift a bucket above their head and throw ice water on themselves definitely deserves to pay double.
It's so easy to fail too. Like,
really? How hard is it to pick a bucket of ice water up? And
as in, you see all these kids and stuff, and they've got like little chairs and things that they have to get up, and they haven't actually lifted the bucket up until the camera starts rolling. So you just see this fear in their eyes, like, holy crap, this is heavier than I thought it would be. And some of the fails are so funny because you've got people who are like, okay, I'm ready for this, and some kid goes, grabs the bucket, and just they fall over and the water goes all over themselves. And it's like, okay, it wasn't meant to do that.
All right, let's have a chat with Lucas about the Aussie Pickers season 2, Andrew. It's on Foxtel, Lucas.
Yes, Foxtel, A&E.
Yep.
607. I mean, it's only a small channel, but we got a lot of good followers.
It's a great channel.
Great numbers. It's been a lot of fun to do. I mean, to be paid to do what it is you love, and I think all of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. You guys are lucky enough to have a show like this and come together and share. Mm-hmm. It's not a job. It's a privilege. Something like Pickers is definitely a privilege. There's always going to be your haters and your naysayers, but the fact that I get to go out and meet the sort of people that you guys see on the show is what makes my day. These guys are incredible. Their stories are amazing. And sometimes they really touch your heart. So, even for example, episode 3 that's coming up next Tuesday at 7:30 on Tuesday, there's a gentleman that wanted a computer. Like, he let us into his property because he wanted to get a computer. Oh, wow. Now, I'm not putting it out there, but he's, I don't know, in his 80s and he's by himself and, what do you want a computer for? But, it's one of those things that, everyone's allowed to have a computer. So we went there and we paid a lot more for the items that we bought because we knew we were going to give him a computer, and a good one at that.
What sort of computer was it?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, he got make that choice. We just basically bought things, and we probably paid a little too much for some of the things that we bought. But you know what? We helped someone out, and we're not going to lose money. So we'll break even. We'll get our money back. But at the same time, you know what? He gets a really nice little computer that connects him to the world. He gets to see his family and chat with people. I mean, Bert was an incredible character. I mean, his name was Bert, and guess what his best mate's name was?
What?
Ernie.
No way.
Absolutely.
No.
How good's that?
That's so cool.
Hanging out together in the forest.
Wow.
You got to check this. You got to check this show out because it's really funny.
What about Laurie from episode 1? He was a crazy character.
Which one?
Oh, Laurie. Yeah. He was.
Oh, Laurie. What a god. I mean, really, you don't get any more Australian than Laurie. Laurie was an absolute gem amongst stones. I mean, every time we travel and see people, some people are a bit freaked out about, allowing a film crew and Adam and I to wander through their stuff. Laurie was one of those kind of guys that he'd made his money. He's well set. He knows what life's about. He travels every day in a pair of old beat-up shoes and an old wife beater and some Bond shorts, and he has the best life. He's the happiest man I've met, I got to say, since we've been doing this show. And he makes a lot of money from the things that he collects, junk.
Gee.
Well, good on him. And how many episodes are in the show, Lucas, for season 2?
Mate, basically we're signed to a contract of 8 episodes per season. So this year we're going to hit 16, which means that hopefully it'll go overseas a lot more because generally most companies buy the show by 13 to 14 episodes.
Yep.
So now that we've got 16, they can cull it back, take some of the weaker ones out. And we might get a bit more coverage and traction overseas. I think that the people we're starting to meet also know who we are. Last year it was pretty much just like they'd never heard of us, you know what I mean? This year they know who we are. We turned up to properties, and the kids, especially from last week, the picnic of pickers, they had a sign out the front saying "Welcome Aussie Pickers," and it was a really awesome and pleasurable account to go to someone's house and see their personal collection. And it's not about, making money really when it comes down to it. It's about exploring the Australian culture and the Australian people and what it is that makes us unique on this planet.
Absolutely, and just having a look at the crap that people have in their backyard.
Yes,
amazing.
absolutely.
Some of the rusted
you love a bit
rubbish,
of crap in the backyard.
some of the gems they have, some of the stuff on there, you just think it's like that's been sitting around for years, and they sort of give it a kick, and they're like, oh yeah, but it's
well, isn't it funny?
What are some of your favorite? Oh, I was going to say, what are some of your favorite ones that you've found so far, as far as items?
Favorite items? Well, there was one item last week. A gentleman's called Sheldon, and Sheldon and his wife live on a property, and he basically repairs cars, and he's got a great life. He's collected really well. He's got a beautiful eye. He finds wonderful things, and he sold me a small Lifesavers tin that I'd, caught my eye, and there was something about it that I can't explain why I looked at it, why I picked it up, but it turned out to be worth a whole lot of money. He was asking $80. And eventually we settled on $70, and he was happy to sell it. And it turned out it was worth $2,500.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
A little bit of a score there. But look, that's that. I mean, I've scored way bigger than that. I mean, I've been to auctions where it's no one's personal possessions. It's just up for bids. And I bought one of my best ones was a rocking chair by a gentleman by the name of Hans Wegner. And I bought it for $32.50. And I sold it for $6,980.
Oh my goodness!
What did it have? Like $100 bills lined in it?
In literally 12, it was probably about 6 months. 12 days I had a buyer, and I knew what it was, and it was just one of those things that you go in there and there's, it's stacked in the corner. No one knows what it is. No one knows how much it's worth, and I do. I just stand there going, "Oh my god!"
You have a gift.
Take the smile off your face.
Lying there, and no one's touching it. It actually got passed in, and that's how we came to the money that we settled on. I went, "Oh, would you take this much for it?" And he went, "Yeah, right." And they sold it to me. So
does anyone who watches the show see afterwards like what the value is, and then not anyone who watches, but you know what I mean, like see afterwards, and then do they feel badly at all because
Yeah, absolutely. Look, last year, what we did was whenever we bought something, we gave it a value, what we thought it would get on a retail shop. So, and that was just our point of view. This year was kind of cool because what we did is we threw it out there amongst the public. And we said, okay, instead of us saying to you, this is how much it's worth, you tell us how much you're willing to pay for it. And these people actually paid for the items that we picked. We had an auction. We sold all the stuff. Now, I mean, there were some guys that came away with a bargain. For example, when we're in New Zealand, which is an episode that's coming up in the future, I purchased a yo-yo that is a very rare yo-yo. Now, you think yo-yo, how much can a yo-yo be?
Yeah.
These yo-yos, the last one that was sold went for $3,250.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
Wow.
It's a yo-yo that was manufactured by Coca-Cola for their executive.
Wow.
And there were only 200 of them made. So, and we sold that yo-yo for $400. So the buyer was absolutely over the moon because he knew he had a yo-yo that was worth at least $1,800 at a minimum.
Wow. I mean, this makes up for all the times though when you're running through Rust and you find something that you think's worth $30 and you buy it for $20. It's not exciting buying something for $20 and selling it for $30.
What's even exciting is when you buy secondhand IKEA and you pay double what it would be worth if you walked into the store. I have done that. I have done this. I've bought IKEA from Finland that I haven't seen it here, and I looked at this chair and went, wow, how cool is this? I paid double the price of what I could have bought it for in the store and had it shipped to Australia.
Just look on the bright side. You didn't have to assemble it.
Oh,
that's so true. No, you're damn straight. It wasn't flat packed. You're dead right. But even though, if I could have got it for half the price, I would have rather assembled it because it's really not rocket science.
Oh, goodness.
Steve, have you got any questions for Lucas?
Yeah, I think Joni kind of mentioned some of it before, but or Jennifer, what is like the most unusual pick that you've seen?
Steve, I get that question probably the most out of all things. And to be honest, I couldn't tell you because every day something different and something really weird comes through the door. I've had moments where I've seen people's collections of navel lint. You know what navel lint is?
No.
This guy collected 20 years of navel lint. 20 years. I mean, it was a jar the size of a pickle barrel full of different coloured bits of lint. I mean, mind you, this is the same man that also collected bread tags for 38 years, and he had probably 20,000 bread tags piled in a giant bucket. And I'm talking, I mean, if you were...
Wow, that's unbelievable.
I can't imagine that'd be worth anything to anybody but the person whose navel it came out of.
That's correct. It's spot on, Jody.
Do we lose Lucas?
I think he did. I think he's on his iPhone and he dropped out.
Yeah, we kind of lost him, but oh well.
But so hopefully that show will come over to you guys very soon.
I want to see. Yeah,
because there's always ways around that. No, just kidding. Okay.
What was that, Jennifer?
No, I'm just saying I tried to view the episodes here in the States and I just could not see them. And I would love to see these episodes because it sounds fantastic.
They really are fantastic. And obviously we've all seen American Pickers, which is a whole lot of fun, but it's a lot of fun for us as well, seeing it in our own backyard.
There's also...
everything is better in Australia. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there's also an Australian version of Porn Stars coming as well, Andrew, on Foxtel as well, so that's going to be good.
Yeah, I did hear about that, Brad. So that's great that, these successful shows in the States are getting a run in Australia. Yeah, and even better if we can sell them, as Lucas was talking about, sell them overseas and get some rights from that as well, and that all goes back into the kitty, and we can make some more content.
Yep.
I was going to ask Lucas what we can do, and maybe if he comes back on, we can find out. But what can we do here in the States in order to help them get backing here? Because I would love to see the Australian culture. That's something.
Well, I think over there, I think like cable companies and them sort of people need to buy the episodes. What to do what Foxtel do.
Right, but do we need to send them letters, or is there a writing campaign, or? Well,
I don't know.
I'm sure if you started a petition or something like that, and you get that golden 10,000 signatures or whatever it is, it's going to demonstrate that there is interest in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if we could even get it on Netflix eventually.
Well, let's ask Lucas now. He's back now. Lucas, what's the deal with getting it over in the US? The show.
My apologies for dropping out. I'm not sure what's going on with my little iPhone. I hate this thing. I don't know how you guys do it. It really just confounds me. And that's why I love being around you, because you guys are the ones that teach me about technology. The idea of getting this over to the States is that basically we're owned by the American company. We are sponsored and we pay for the use and the rights to do Aussie Pickers under the banner, which is a part of American Pickers. I'm sure at some point they will, hopefully support it and bring it online over there. Otherwise, you can download it off the net. I mean, it's up every week. Every episode as it happens is able to be downloaded from Vimeo.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
But you can.
Vimeo.
You guys can see this shit all the time. It's I mean, really, the people that we bump into is really what it's about. I mean, the fact that Adam and I find things is a bonus, but it's just, you meet these characters, and if anyone's seen Laurie's episode, that's exactly what Australia is about.
Yep. I think that's my favourite. I think it's my favourite one so far on the episode.
So, Lucas, have you done any injury or damage to yourself? I mean, sifting through some of this rusted, I would say junk, but junk sometimes.
No.
Have you...
Junk's a fair enough word, mate. Yes, absolutely. I mean, they strap cameras to me on my chest, the GoPro.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So GoPro 3 Plus, they put one on my chest and they say, you go up there and be a monkey boy and rummage through shit. And sometimes I really wonder whether or not I'm going to end up being impaled on an old, hay fork or something. And we're off to hospital to have this thing removed from my chest or something. I mean, it's kind of terrifying. And it's not just the spiky implements that are scary. It's the snakes, deadly spiders.
Oh, wow.
Giant kangaroo rats. I mean, I know they don't hurt you, but they sure as shit scare the hell out of you. These things are big. It's like a rat on steroids.
Yeah.
You just see now, checking through your job description, just going, nope, no kangaroo rats in here. That's not listed.
No, that's right. Look, we actually have someone that goes around and determines what the risk factor is on the shoot.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, no, it's kind of like some of the places we go to really shouldn't be sending people into. I mean, we do it for the sake of television and hopefully it entertains, but really you wouldn't go in there. I mean, I wouldn't go in there.
So who determines their risk factor?
Well, the public. I mean, people don't want to see you just prancing around the outside, picking up little bits and pieces here and there. They want to see you getting in there and getting dusty and dirty and getting into all the little cavernous spaces that they themselves go from the comfort of their lounge room, may I say. Oh, look, I'd go in there, but they don't have to. You know what? Adam and I do. And, it is part of the fun of the whole thing of finding that element, going that little bit further to find what it is that, makes people smile. They go, oh, my God, I have one of them. Or, I've found Humphrey Bear dolls. I don't know if the American crew of this conversation know what Humphrey Bear is, but every Australian will know.
No. What's Humphrey Bear?
Humphrey Bear is the equivalent of Yogi. Yogi Bear.
Oh, okay, Yogi Bear. Yeah.
That
The Aussie
fun-loving
equivalent.
kind of character.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? It's sort of like they want us to find that element, that connection to your childhood that, is not going to be sitting at the front door. Yeah, that's right. You've got to go all the way to the back, climb over things to find that bit that everyone goes, oh, my God, how cool is that? I remember Humphrey Bear or Yogi Bear and, it's that connection that you make with people. And to get that, you have to go that extra yard. You've got to go deeper into the pile. You've got to work a little bit harder and climb over things to find those unique items.
How cool.
Very cool.
How long does it take to do a show approximately?
Wow, great question. Now, this is something that I really had no idea prior to actually getting on the show, but basically per day equals 5 minutes of television.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our show rolls for an hour. So I can tell you
Oh my-
right now, we spend many a day and the crew are just phenomenal. I can't, praise Shine enough. Shine Australia, the guys that do MasterChef and, they come up with those concepts, The Voice and so forth, and they've applied what they've learned from these other shows to our show, and we're just a very small show. We're just a pair of idiots running around the countryside, but yet, the quality of production is immense. They really go that extra yard, and the stuff that you guys see on TV, there's 20 more times stuff that's just as brilliant on the outside of it, but, they do an amazing job.
Oh, that's neat.
A little bit from the left here. 5 minutes a day. So you spend a lot of time out and about. Do you guys? I mean, what do you eat? You can't eat hamburgers every day on the road doing that.
Oh, why is you guys have done your research, haven't you? Because this is awesome. I mean, I know that there's a lot of crew members that if they're listening, they will get a giggle out of this because we just ate wraps. Wraps and sandwiches were our thing. And it's like you're in the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? And the caterers are some local cafe at the nearest town, which is 90K away. And it takes you an hour and a half to get there, to pick lunch up, to bring it back. We are literally out in the middle of nowhere. It's a very, very hard slog for all the guys that actually produce the show, and I tilt my hat to them because, to be honest, we are in some places that are very remote and you don't have a lot of stuff around you. This is not like LA. This is not like New York. You can't just wander down to the local grocery store. It's 90K away. It's an hour and a half
Oh, my
drive.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a challenge.
It is. And you know what? I mean, you can see in this season's events, I mean, I'm gluten intolerant and I tend to get a little bit larger, let us say, when I eat bread. So even the wraps, you know, it was a hard slog. It's not an easy job. I mean, Brad, truly, join me. I will drag you kicking and screaming into my world. But the reality is that it actually is a lot harder than you think it is. I mean, 5 minutes for a day's work, and that whole day you're turned on. I mean, you are on for 9 hours. That's it. You've got to be up and positive and looking at stuff, and it's a lot of work.
What time do you start of a day, Lucas? What time do you start?
5:45.
Okay, and what time do you finish?
Yeah, 11:30, 12 at night.
Wow, long day.
Wait. 5:45 in the morning, 11 and 12 at night. Oh, my gosh.
Do
Where do
the
you sleep?
mathematics. Whenever you can. I mean, if you're getting in the car and you've got to drive 3 hours to your next location, you're sleeping in the car. You know what I mean? Like it's actually not as easy as you think. And it comes across on telly as being a really nice cruise. And Adam and I just fuck-assing around.
Some guy
hey, look at that place. Let's go in there. It's a lot of
some guy at home channel flicking with a bag of Twisties and a can of Coke.
So you guys don't have like
I
limos?
tell you, I never want to see another can of Coke as long as I live. We've got like an esky in the back of the van that is full of Coke, and it's like, no, can I have mineral water? Give me some mineral water. Anything that'll keep me alive. No more sugar. And all they do is buy with sugar.
Brad has noticed, Brad and I catch up quite often. We're both in Melbourne. He's noticed that I drink a lot of mineral water.
Yeah, you do.
Good for you.
Yeah, good on you. That's good.
Yeah. Good. Look, you know what? You'll live longer. I tell you, keep sucking the Cokes down, you're going to look like me.
Coke is fine. It's great. But it's when you're out, you know, dinner on Saturday night sort of thing. For 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, grab a bottle of mineral water.
Yeah. Oh, look, if you can. But I tell you what, in the middle of Queensland's outback, if you go to someone and go, hey, can I have a mineral water? It's like asking for a soy latte. You may as well just, someone's coming from behind the counter with a club and they're just going to beat you until you ask for, you know, decaffeinated drip filter coffee, and that's all we got.
Damn.
Enjoy.
There you go.
Hey, go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
No. You go, Jen. That's fine.
No, I was just gonna say, when you were growing up, were you the class clown? Because you have a great personality. You're really, really a lot of fun.
Well, Jen, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. But this is, you know, it's partly work. And look, there was a part of me that was the creative person. I don't know about class clown. I'm not as funny as Adam. Adam is a funny bastard. I mean, the stuff that he and I go through, he is definitely Mr. Funny. He's got one-liners for everything.
How did you meet Adam?
Awesome. And he's my partner. I met Adam. Yep. I met Adam when Cecily and I all started together. Mm-hmm. Cecily's father owned the auction house that we went to. Now, Adam was the guy that would receive items when they came in on the back of a car. He'd go, yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes, no, no. Mm-hmm. I was the guy that was buying from Adam and Cecily. Cecily was my first auctioneer. She and I used to actually work together very closely. And, you know, there were some days where I was the only person in the crowd, which was awesome because she'd go, I want $20 for this. And I'm like, I'll give you 5, and there's no one else there. So she had to go.
So you had to get it for 5. That's nice.
That's
yeah.
right. That's exactly it. And it was awesome. And then Adam came along, and Adam was a builder by trade at the beginning. He then joined, Mitchell Road Auctions, and he worked his way up from there, from being the dock boy to being the mover of heavy furniture to being the auctioneer of certain items. And, I guess we all evolved. It's a good 20 years that we've been doing this for. So we kind of know each other backwards. So to get on Pickers and have this work the way it is just natural evolution of the way that things go. I couldn't think of 2 other people that I'd rather work with than Adam and Cecily. They're awesome.
That's wonderful.
Really, as different as we are, and that's what you need. You don't need someone that's going to see life the same way you do. You need someone that is seeing stuff completely differently, and Adam does that. He challenged me every single day that we go on a pick. When I go and see something like a motorbike, he goes, dude, pull it in. Really rope it up, because he has no interest in it. He doesn't care about the mechanical. He doesn't want to know about it. All he cares about is cash money. Yep. And fair enough. And that's why I am enjoying the process of Adam and I together on Pickers, because, to be honest, we complement each other very well.
What sort of motorbikes have you come across, Lucas? Any favourite motorbikes you see, mate?
Yeah, mate, of course. Are you kidding me? This is my shit.
Yeah, I know you love it, yeah.
I love it. I mean, this year, well, you'll see if you tune in on Tuesday at 7:30 on A&E, I buy an Indian motorcycle, and I drop a bundle on this puppy. Ooh. I mean, I really drop some coin. I mean, stuff that most people go, fuck off, that's a house deposit, dude. What are you doing?
Wow.
But the reality is that I proved to Adam that you can make money. Even though you tie up a whole lot of money, you can still make a little bit of coin. We bought the motorbike, and anyway, you have to tune in. Please, everyone, check it out. But it worked out really well for both of us. He had a lesson, I got a lesson, and this is the way that the Pickers really rolls. I mean, it's actually real life. This is not pretend.
No, it's not.
He and I are not going, let's just do this. He actually gets very upset when I buy these things, because he goes, dude, that's our money. What are you doing? Oh, I hate you. And
so talking about pretending.
With that. And then I've got to deal with that stuff on TV.
How much of what you do is actually scripted?
None.
Is any of it scripted, or is it all ad-lib?
I tell you, the only things that are ad-libbed is the way that we sew the stories. So, for example, we go from, Bert in his swamp through to Renee and her husband Morgan on the episode 3, and we go down to Kerry, and there's just ways you got to sew it together. So, for example, you're only seeing Bert, Morgan, and Kerry, but there were another 8 other people that were also involved. So there are certain elements of it that we have to kind of go, okay, we're going to Kerry's now, so that the audience can follow it on television, which is just normal. We can't just throw these things together. But what's important is that, majority of it, and I'd say at least 98% of it, is unscripted. We are not told what to say. We don't even know where we're going to go and see. They just film me losing my shit over a motorbike that they know is going to be there. I don't know it's going to be there, but they know it's going to be there. And they just have so much fun watching me lose my marbles over a 1942 Indian Scout. You know what I mean? And this is a great bike. I mean, it's a bike that people don't generally ride. It's a bike that's not for everyone out there, because it's completely in reverse to everything that is about motorcycles at the moment. But at the same time, to all motorcycle collectors, you've got to pay homage. You've got to respect the fact that Harley-Davidson and Indian Motorcycles have been one of the longest running companies on the planet. And the product that they produce is phenomenal. From 1942 at Springfield through to the current Victory models they're releasing now.
All right, Jody or Jennifer, do you have any final questions for Lucas?
I can't wait to actually get to see the show. We can't see it here yet. Is there a way that we can download it?
You can. You can go to A&E on Facebook, and they will have several downloads for you. You can go to Vimeo, and there'll be several. Every time that a series or an episode is aired, they will give a free, download. So you can actually download the episode after it's finished. So
in the States?
Yeah, in the States.
Because on the States, on A&E, it's blocked for us. They every time we try to view, it says we cannot view this, and you cannot view this in the country you're in, or something like that. But what's the other site you were talking about? Vimeo, is that what you said?
Well, Vimeo, or
Vimeo.
Yeah,
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere.
It's on YouTube.
Just get on Google it. You'll see what we do.
Yep.
I mean, it's a hard thing, and it's nice to be a part of a company like A&E and Shine, for the fact that we can be who we are without being, manipulated too much by the bigger man. We can have people like Laurie. If you get to see Laurie's episode, he swears like a trucker. I mean, this guy, every second word is.
I loved it.
Yeah, he just drops the bomb every word. But you know what? That is truly part of the Australian vernacular and our culture.
Well,
it's who we are.
Awesome.
I asked Jody about a meat pie this morning, didn't I, Jody?
Jody, what do you know about meat pies? Tell me all you know about meat pies.
The only thing I know about meat pies is that Brad says they're yummy.
On your bread.
Yum.
It's a man from Melbourne that loves a good meat pie.
Yeah.
Look, Jody, if you get the chance, really, check out meat pie. McDonald's actually sells a meat pie in Melbourne that is a famous Melbourne meat pie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
McDonald's?
Wow.
Yeah, McDonald's. You know McDonald's? You should.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's crazy. They
sell meat pies at McDonald's in Melbourne.
Wow.
And it's a particular kind of meat pie. It's a Melbourne meat pie. I mean, you know how McDonald's has encompassed the world, and basically it's everywhere from India through to Russia. And they basically try to tap into, what it is that our culture's about.
Is it Lucas about the pie at McDonald's? Is it?
No, it's been around for a while. They just brought it back recently, actually.
Oh, okay.
When we were traveling with Pickers, we were down there, and I went, oh, my God. And New Zealand's got their own twist on it. They were the ones that started the whole meat pie thing. They actually have it all wrapped up. I mean, New Zealand is all about the meat pie. And you think, okay, maybe it's another state of Australia, but, they're all over it.
All right.
Well, I think that furthers my resolve. Jen, Steve, we are going. We're going to get on
going. Yeah, we do do a show, a tour.
Get down here. Yep. It'd be nice to do a visual recording of this scenario.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Be a whole lot of fun.
Okay. Please, come on. Brad, make
Lucas,
it happen.
you have to promise you'll find an Indian when I'm down there. Or a Harley.
Oh, look, you know what? I can't promise that, and it's too hard to do. These are bikes that people rode years ago. I mean, the Indian is a great piece of machinery, but it takes a certain caliber of man to drive it. I mean, I can't ride an Indian. I could do it. Yes, I can get it started and I can go forward. But if you've ever Googled how to ride an Indian, it's a very complicated task. It's not as easy as just getting on a motorcycle and doing it.
All right, Lucas, thanks for being on, mate. Where can they get hold of you and they want to ask you any questions, mate?
Look, if you want to get a hold of me and ask any questions, please feel free to go to my Facebook page, Modern 2 Vintage. That's number 2. So modern number 2 vintage.com. I've got Facebook. If you want to get on my Instagram site, that's a bit more personal. Please feel free to ask, and I'm more than happy to add you. If you are in Australia and listening to this, we are doing a Gumtree tour. Actually doing a antiques roadshow, but for cooler kind of things and everyday kind of items. Up the eastern seaboard of Australia over the next couple of weeks. We're starting on the 6th of September and moving our way up toward Queensland.
Cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, people can bring their stuff to us and we can kind of best evaluate it. What I'm really hoping for is people that bring things that may stump us. You know what I mean? If you want more information in about 5 to 7 days' time, there's going to be a website set up at gumtree.com.au/roadshow. That'll give you an indication as to where we're going. We're at Belgian. We're all over the place. We're going to be, just valuing everyday items from everyone across Sydney. We're starting at Glebe Markets on the 6th of September. We're moving to Maitland on the 7th of September at their showgrounds. Carrara on the 14th of September at Manchester Road, and Belgian on the 20th of September. We're going to be out there, connecting with the collectors of this world, people that actually have made a living out of doing this. Now, Brad, give up this whole tech thing, mate. Get shit together. Let's go. Come down to
Yeah,
Australia.
when are you coming back to Melbourne, Lucas? When are you coming back to Melbourne, mate?
Mate, I wish I could. Go up to Sydney. And when I say Australia, I mean come to Sydney. This is where it's happening. I need to take you out, show you the ropes.
All right.
Definitely.
Andrew,
You
that's
should
the
do that,
plan.
Brad.
Okay, we should do it.
Gonna be a picker.
Yeah, you and Andrew.
Yeah. Andrew, would you enjoy that?
Yes, would sound like a whole lot of fun, Brad. We should do a bit of a road trip up to Sydney, I think.
Come on. Do it. Come on.
All right. And
How many
Only 2
hours
days.
is it?
A Saturday,
couple
Sunday,
hours?
let's go. Jody, drag it over. You got no
No, it's not-
excuse. Let's
yeah.
go.
But
We're
one
on
thing
our
we know
way.
for sure, there'll be sandwiches and wraps aplenty waiting
Oh,
for us.
I guarantee you there will not be a single sandwich in sight. We will go to some really nice places and there will never be a sandwich in sight. No more sandwiches. It's
Only
all about
meat
real
pies.
eating. Mineral water.
So you
No
live in the
more
city
Coke.
area, Lucas. Do you live in the city area, mate? Of
I
Sydney?
do. Central Sydney in Paddington.
Oh, nice. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's not.
Good stuff. All right, mate. Thanks for being on.
No problem. Thank you very
Appreciate
much for having me.
Wow.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew, want to
Come
go?
back soon.
You come back soon, Lucas.
He is one hell of
No
a
worries.
character.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
That was a lot of fun. That was fun talking with
I
him.
think, Joe, you need to get down here ASAP.
Come on, Jody, please.
It's
All
true.
I see
It's
is
true.
that wonderful profile you got. Really?
Aw.
Are
Come
you
to
two
Sydney.
friends on Facebook?
No, but I know who she is.
Yeah, you should add her on Facebook.
Oh, well, I'm going to hunt her down now. That's it, Jody.
There you
you
go.
are my number
well,
one
I know
target.
we've tweeted back and forth,
Mm.
but because we have
That's all
motorcycles.
enough. Come down here.
So
Come
you
on.
should keep in touch.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. It's on my bucket list. I definitely will come after Westminster.
Come on. Don't leave it till you're gone. Truly. Let's get down now. We don't know
Agreed,
each other.
agreed.
May as well get here. Enjoy it. I'll show you the town.
All right.
There you
Good
go. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I just have to. My dog is going to be showing at Westminster in February. So as soon as that's done,
Did you
That's-
say your dog is going to be showing?
at Westminster, yeah.
Wow. What sort of dog have you got?
A Belgian Malinois. Friend me on Facebook. And
Wow.
you'll see. I've got pictures of them all over the place. But yeah, I've got one that does search and rescue, and the other one is a show dog. And she's done phenomenally well. She got her championship. We're working on her grand championship, and she's qualified now for Westminster.
Are you
So-
going to breed her?
Eventually, she's just
Can
a
I have
young
one?
thing right now. Sure. You like
Okay.
Malinois?
Yeah, absolutely. I want
She's-
to
Bring
dog
it with
my
her to
motorbike.
Australia.
Yeah, she's a really cool. Take a look at them. They look like it's a Belgian Shepherd. They're called Belgian Malinois, and they're a very protective breed that are used a lot for herding, but they use them a lot now for police work. My boy does search and rescue. They do agility. They do obedience. They're very versatile.
I'll tell you what, if you can get me one of those breeds, I will give you a blue cattle dog, which is a very Australian thing and very much the same
Cool.
as that. Yeah, no,
Oh,
an awesome animal. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very smart, very together. I mean, a great creature.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a deal.
there you go, Jody.
Oh, all right. Done.
Excellent.
All right, Andrew, what do you want to move to next, Matt? The news or the interview with Peter Hitchener?
Why don't we run through and put the interview with Peter Hitchener through, and
Okay.
then we'll finish up with
Do you
the
want
news
to
today.
give a quick brief on what happened yesterday at Channel 9 before we play it?
Yeah, sure. Brad and I were invited over to Channel 9. Peter Hitchener wanted to give us a bit of a look around. We all sort of chat on Twitter here and there, Brad and Peter particularly. And he just wanted to take us for a nice tour around, do a meet and greet face to face. So we spent probably an hour and a half in there, and then Peter was good enough to head down to the cafe at the bottom of Channel 9 there and buy us a coffee, and we had a good chat and talked about life and how long he's been in the news industry for, and talked a little bit about, I guess everything, and also a bit about technology as well. He's quite a Mac person, which was interesting. So
Very cool, mate.
Why don't we run that interview from yesterday, Brad? And
Here we go.
yeah.
Enjoy.
And
Yes, it's a special Tech Webcast snippet with Brad and myself, Andrew, and we have got Peter Hitchener, Channel 9 news reporter with us. How are you, Peter?
Hello, I'm very well, thanks. Thank you very much for having me on your podcast. I'm looking forward to listening to them in future. It sounds like you cover heaps of good and important topics.
We do a lot around technology, and it's great to hear that you are an iPhone user and Macintosh user.
Yes.
So,
yes, I have been for years. Well, I've used Mac computers since the 80s, so I don't know what that says about me, but I refuse to change.
Probably it says that you've been using a Mac computer longer than most of our listeners have been alive.
Actually, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So you probably know more about it than what we would.
I don't know.
No, but that's great, Peter, and we really appreciate you taking us around Channel 9 today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Have a good walk.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and you can see that our studios these days are more streamlined and more in keeping with the needs of television in the this current era. We used to be out of Bendigo Street, Richmond, but that was television of the 50s, 60s, right through till about 3 years ago. But it was of a different era, a different ethos. You needed large studios and lots of horizontal space, and it was laid out pretty much like the Hollywood studios of the 20s and 30s. And back when Channel 9 started, they had ballet rooms and music rehearsal rooms and recording studios and all sorts of things on site. These days, those sort of tasks are outsourced and not so much happens in the one neck of the woods.
Interesting, and as you said, I mean, there's a lot of technology. There's people here. There's social media managers, all sorts of things. So
that's right.
It's a different news, isn't it?
It's
a different way of media.
That's right, and a different way of making connections. What we're trying to do hasn't changed. We're still trying to serve the audience with information that we think they're going to be interested in, and that kind of matters to them. And how we engage with the audience is changing because there are things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and so on. So platforms will change, but really what we're trying to do hasn't. It's just to keep people up to date with what's going on.
Not a worry.
One more question.
Yeah, sure,
is it going to be a 24-hour news channel at all, Peter?
Yes, I suppose. Who knows what is going to develop? It may very well happen. At the moment, there's Nine and Go and Gem in our company, and they each have their discrete markets and their audiences, discrete audiences. But there's much more news in the schedule these days, and that probably, who knows, that may very well increase.
Okay.
Good stuff. Interesting question, Brad, also with technology, whether or not a 24-hour news station can actually compete with people's on-demand ability to get information from the internet as well.
Yes.
So it's a commercial decision, and there needs to be enough advertising to support that.
That's exactly right. And the thing about a news, the 6 o'clock news is we've now grown that to a 1-hour service, and it's a very useful service for families and for all sorts of people, single people, whatever. Because it's a kind of a distilled version of what's going on. So, we have the stories from overseas and the ones locally, things you might be interested in, things that really matter to you in Melbourne, or it's
almost a popcorn digest for people.
Yes, it's a digest of what's going on, and it I suppose could be seen as a very modern day equivalent of the storyteller, the town crier of times past. So there is certainly, it seems, a market and an audience for a bulletin of that kind, a digest of what's going on. Not sure what the dynamics are for a 24-hour news service. They do exist, but I don't know whether there's room for many in the market, because the ABC has one, and of course there's also Sky News.
Certainly the 6 o'clock digest is here to stay, and keeps you running, Peter.
Yes.
Keeping in mind that we better let you go, because you've probably got to get to the 6 o'clock digest.
Actually I do.
He does.
He does. Thank you very much for visiting.
Thank you, Peter.
And
appreciate it.
Lovely meeting you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. So there you go, Andrew. That is the interview with Peter Hitchener.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun, and it was really good of him to make time. And I think we finished up at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So he was literally out the door and into the newsroom.
I just want to mention one thing about the Channel 9 studio where they do the news. It's very different to what you see on TV than in real life. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. It's very different.
Yeah, it is. And it was quite interesting too, just how I almost expected there to be more people running or manning the newsroom there. I mean, there's only, I think, 4 or 5 people who are actually in the studio at the time that they create the news. There is a producer's room which is above the studio, which has a few more people, switching buttons. But actually on the floor, there's only about 4 or 5 people in total, which, is interesting. Peter said they use a whole lot of technology. So there's a number of tasks now that are fully automated. But Paul is the man on the floor who runs everything, and a whole lot of fun. They're a really good bunch of people.
Yeah, definitely. Peter Hitchen, it was great talking to him, and appreciate his time. He's a good, nice guy to talk to. Jody or Jennifer, do you have any questions for Andrew or myself about this?
When are you guys going to be on TV?
Probably never.
As much as you'd love to show your face, Brad.
Oh yeah, Lucas, have you met Peter Hitchen before?
No, I haven't. I would like to, but no.
Okay. Yeah, no, he's very interesting to talk to.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it was very cool to talk to, and good to see how the news gets done every day.
Do you mind if I ask you how you guys record your interviews? Is it through iPhone or?
That one was done on the iPhone. Yeah. Awesome.
Comes across great.
Yeah. I thought it came across very well as well. Andrew, you want to go to the news now? News.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go through to the news, Jennifer and Jody, and see what's been happening this week in tech.
Okay. Well, my mouse comes back. Here we go.
I keep waiting for Ron Burgundy to walk in. Jen, you going first? Oh, Jody, you start. Okay.
I'm going to say you start. Someone's calling my house phone at the moment, so you go ahead and start while this ends. Apologies.
And this was well rehearsed. Okay, well, in the news this week, AMD GPU shipments surged 11% in Q2, while NVIDIA GPUs slump. Okay, it looks like AMD has a reason to smile, NVIDIA doesn't. Industry research and consulting firm John Peddle Research has released a report which states that AMD's GPU shipments rose 11% in Q2 2014 on a quarter-to-quarter basis, while NVIDIA's GPU shipments saw a slump of 8.3%. Intel saw a 4% increase in its total shipments. Brad and Andrew, any comment about GPUs? I mean,
I don't really care about GPUs.
I don't care really.
It's great that they're increasing and decreasing.
Yeah. I know. It's like okay, great. Okay, next story.
Yeah,
next story.
Maybe when I was going to do the news next week, maybe Andrew can pick out the 3 news stories and I can do the 3.
Okay, well, evidently there's a big layoff happening at Cisco. They're trying to put their best face on laying off about 6,000 people. A lot of angst and bitter feelings. A little bit of insight courtesy of blogger Brad Reese, who got a hold of Cisco Systems' internal memo about its recent announcement that 6,000 employees, roughly 8% of the company, are being laid off. Apparently, the memo provides links to 2 recordings of comments by CEO John Chambers and other Cisco executives made to their workers, Jen's back, about what the layoffs mean and how Cisco is attempting to reorganize itself to become the world's top information technology company. Sorry, that was an involuntary cough. A few cheerleading snippets from Chambers. It's about investing in growth and moving fast. Does he not know they're laying off 6,000 people? Chambers also provided a bit more clarity about the layoffs, although the company previously was vague about how many people would be hired to replace those laid off. He said it has told analysts that our headcount would not go down. So, 8% of their workforce is being laid off. That's kind of a lot and somewhat shocking, but maybe they were the slackers. Who knows? Jen, are you ready to jump in about the
I am ready. Yes,
Okay.
my apologies on earlier. So this story is coming from slashgear.com, and it is a rumor on the iPad Air 2. They're saying it's going to double the amount of RAM that is in the iPad 1. So, we've been having a lot of talks right now about the iPhone 6, and everyone's kind of forgotten about the iPad Air 2. So this report is saying 2 gigs of RAM, and currently in the iPad Air, there is only 1 gig of RAM. So this is probably going to be coming because of an enhancement in the new iPad Air 2 that they're talking about having a multi-window feature for the iPad. So then you could actually do multiple tasks at once. So if that is happening, then they wouldn't have the need for the extra RAM. So be on the lookout for that. They're anticipating probably shortly after the iPhone 6 announcement, which that is coming up any day now in early September. So after that, then they'll talk about launching the iPad Air. And back to you, Jody.
Yeah, I've got the iPad Air, and I don't really seem to need additional RAM. I'm curious. It's a very fast device. And I've got the iPad, was it iPad 3, which wasn't really the iPad 3, it was really the new iPad. So from the iPad 3, which was a retinal screen, to the iPad Air, you did gain some speed, and it's lighter and, beautiful, responsive display. I'm just, I don't know how much more they can improve it. I'm curious to see how that shakes out. But
I guess
just the multi-window, yeah.
I think with the RAM on the iPads, I know there's a lot of people that have, when they're using web browsers, they have a lot of tabs open, and when they try to switch to another application and then come back, it actually resets all the tabs and they lose their information. So for specific applications like that, more RAM might be needed.
That's a good point, Steve. Yeah. And it's interesting too, because they now are going to be introducing a new operating system, the iOS 8. And everybody's supposed to be looking at what they need to do to decrease the amount of space they're using on their phones. I think you need something like 3 gigs in order to be able to upload iOS 8. So maybe that's a memory hog, and maybe that's why they have to increase the RAM, but that's yet to be seen.
So do you use your iPad a lot, Jody?
I do, but I have to admit, most of what I do with it is watch videos.
Cool. Yep.
Or shop.
Yeah.
That's things we like to do. We women like to do those things.
Mm-hmm. I do videos on mine too, yeah.
I use AirPlay.
Well, that's cool. And speaking of videos, okay, this really kind of like threw me for a loop. The next story, 20% of Foxtel Presto movies are watched via, okay, wait for it, drum roll.
I couldn't believe it either.
A Chromecast?
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
I know, like those of us who have them, like mine's sitting in the drawer. One criticism often made of Foxtel is that it doesn't keep up with the latest in technology. Whether or not that's true for Foxtel Play and Go, it's not the case for the company's Presto Movies streaming service. More than a fifth of all Presto movies watched since launched have been viewed via Google's $50 Chromecast dongle. Yeah, dongle sounds like a dirty word, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does, yeah.
Right? I mean, all right.
Yeah,
well,
it does, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Okay,
anyway.
we know what you want for Christmas. Okay.
What'd you get for the dongle?
Dongle.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But, yeah, so that's really kind of the story. The rest of it just talks about they're slashing their subscription price by half to $9.99.
Good price.
Oh, excellent price. Presto does what even Foxtel Play and Go can't. It takes big risks. They have an aggressive price strategy, quick adoption of new technology that potentially opens the service up to abuse, with a video stream leaving the relative safety of a lockdown app, and an implicit threat from any Netflix spinoff that might launch here. So very interesting what's happening with all of, I think, streaming video that could be watched via a Chromecast or on an iPad Air.
Yes, or AirPlay.
Or AirPlay.
Foxtel needs to add AirPlay to Foxtel Go, I think.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Because it's probably be more better, I think. I use Apple TV a lot, and yeah.
Okay.
Andrew, do
We'll
you
have
use Apple TV? You use Apple TV a lot, do you?
Who, me?
Andrew, Andrew's.
Yeah, I do. We use a lot at the office, to be honest. We hook our devices up so we can see it all on the big screen. So it's a fantastic device, the Apple TV. Just as much as the Chromecast for people who are using the Android platform.
What about Foxtel Go, Andrew? Would you use Foxtel Go if it had AirPlay?
I think I definitely would be more inclined, but I don't think they're going to add the AirPlay anytime soon because that's going to hurt their set-top box market.
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think you might be right there. Yeah. Even if they add the app to the Apple TV, would be better too.
Yeah, it would. It'd be great if they ran it through the Apple TV, but I think Foxtel are pretty happy with where they are at the moment. And obviously, we have some really cool content on Foxtel, such as Aussie Pickers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, great,
Yay!
great show. Lucas had to go, Jody. So you may have to contact him if you want to add him on Facebook. So,
well, I added the was it vintage to modern, so hopefully he'll see that. But yeah, I mean, Lucas is so cool, and we had him last year.
Yeah,
he was on the show last year. I love what he's doing. I love his attitude. He's got such a super personality, and just you can see that he really loves what he's doing, and I think that shines through. So it's a pleasure when he comes on.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely.
But speaking of videos, Jen, the next story I think.
Next story coming from Mashable.com is about Vine. They're saying that they are granting the wishes of every star and amateur on Vine by allowing them to import existing videos. So this has been an absent feature on Vine until now, and it actually resulted into some people opting for Instagram instead. Because that allows you to upload 15-second videos as opposed to Vine's 6-second videos that you couldn't pull from elsewhere. So in addition to video import, the Vine app also lets you edit imported video, and you can duplicate portions of the video and mute the audio. Instead of being forced to preview the entire video before editing, you can now preview your last edition on the capture screen and even delete that portion of your Vine from the same screen. So if you, one thing to note, this part is only available in iOS. So this change in the app is an iOS change. So if you have an iPhone, definitely check out the latest changes for Vine.
And is anybody using Vine?
Yes, I'm using it. I love it. I use it every day. I love it. I love the update.
Really?
Yeah, the update.
I haven't
you haven't used it?
No, I haven't touched it in months.
Why is that?
Me too.
Got bored of it all?
No, there's just so much stuff, and I don't know. The shelf life of an app for me is usually a couple of weeks now, and then I get bored with it and I stop.
That's one app I don't get bored of is Vine, and I love Vine. Yeah. What about you, Jady? What do you think about it?
I used to use Vine, and like Jen, I just kind of stopped using it. And it's funny because I was looking through my apps on my phone today in preparation for iOS 8, and I stumbled against one that I used to love and haven't used for a while called Cinemagram. And And I really liked it, and I don't know why I stopped using it. I just did, but I was playing with it. I'm like, wow, this is fun. But I'll have to I guess take a look at Vine again since I haven't used it for a while.
Definitely. What about you, Andrew? What's your view on all this? I know you do a video app and stuff, and what do you?
Yeah, I like Vine. I think it's great. It's bite-sized, portion control. Really, it's quick and easy, and there's some really cool Viners that create a bunch of creative, I guess, cool stuff on there. So, I love it. All the good apps, but it's interesting that the shelf life of an app these days really is quite, quick. I mean, the only thing that we really hold on to is your Facebook and Twitter and probably Instagram, and that probably says more about the connections through that, not the app. I mean, I don't think you go to an app as much these days for the app itself, but for the people who are on there that you communicate with.
I know one app that I won't be bored of ever is the Rewind app.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that to come through on the store. So it's taken a little bit of time, unfortunately, to get the approval of that, but hopefully it will be very, very soon. So that should be a bit of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be more than fun. And it's going to be hell fun. Very fun.
Hopefully it will. I've added a couple of late news articles on there as well. Do you want me to run through those?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, first up we have where are we? Digital money hit. The taxman in Australia now wants to take a hit from the Bitcoin action. So basically, businesses that use digital currencies such as Bitcoins to purchase goods and services throughout Australia and accept them as legal tender will have to pay GST, so goods and services tax, 10%, according to a guideline set about by the Australian Taxation Office. Individuals will be slapped with capital gains tax upon the sale of Bitcoins, just as they would with shares. However, there will be no tax implication on goods purchased for personal use up to $10,000. So I guess the taxman has seen some dollars moving around with Bitcoins, or people in the money game are using them as a vehicle to avoid tax. So that's interesting. And finally, the guard at Microsoft is changing. Former Microsoft chief executive Steve Ballmer has just this week announced that he is retiring as the chief executive of Microsoft and also as the Microsoft chairman. So he's moving on from there, and he's recently bought the Los Angeles Clippers basketball team. So after 14 years, Steve Ballmer is stepping down from Microsoft. So it's going to be a totally different company. Gone is Bill Gates, gone is Steve Ballmer. And I guess it's a new charge down there at Microsoft.
Did you say he's going? Did you say he's going to be a basketball coach, Andrew? What's he going to?
He recently bought the Los Angeles Clippers basketball team, so I can only assume that he is moving on from business. And as the Clippers owner, we'll probably have a bit of fun, with the Clippers. I know I don't know the exact amount, but he spent an absolute fortune buying them. And, I can only assume that that's kind of a retirement package to him to keep him interested in a bit of fun.
What's that, Steve?
Wasn't it like... No, I must be thinking about... Is $2 billion? Was it too much?
Yeah, I thought it was $1.5 billion or something, around that that mark, which, to him is probably pocket change. You drop that after buying a sandwich and a Coke at the mini-mart. But to most of us, a few $1 billion adds up.
Oh yeah. Steve, I was going to say something, but I was going to, like I didn't say it. Steve, what's your view on Vine, on the Vine update? Do you use Vine a lot?
Not really. I am waiting for the Rewind app to come up on iTunes. Hopefully it'll be approved, and then I'm really wanting to try that out. As far as the other ones, really not as much. I don't know. I might actually put it on my phone and give it a try.
Vine, yeah. Definitely give it a go. It's pretty fun to use. And that's about it. Is it Jody and Jennifer? No more news stories? That it?
No more news stories. That's it.
That's it. Great news stories. Jacob. Yeah, great news. What did you want to say to Jacob, Andrew?
No, just great news stories as always. And I guess there's no guest to go on to today. We've sort of done it a little bit out of whack.
Yeah, we did it backwards, didn't
Reverse.
we?
We sure did, but obviously Lucas had a few things to do as well. He ended up hanging around for a whole lot of time, which was really fantastic of him. I think he was having a whole lot of fun today. Yeah, definitely. Just as we were having him on the show. It's really great to have someone like Lucas on, just to break it up from you know the tech a little bit, and it was really cool hearing about what they do and what they get up to on Aussie Pickers.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great show. It's a great show on Fox. A&E's a great channel on Foxtel. They're showing so many good shows on A&E, and the Porn Stars Australia is going to be another good show to watch too.
Yeah, exactly.
Aussie Pickers. Who's on next week, Steve? Do you know?
I can check real quick, and that would be...
Just checking my calendar too. That is Steve's Cooking Adventure. That's a TV show on Channel 31. So that's going to be a great chat with him. It's a community channel on Channel 31.
You're making me hungry saying that.
That's a cooking show. Yeah. What's that, Steve?
Nice.
You're making me hungry doing that. Is it my cooking show? Did it say Steve's, right? Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it just says Steve's Adventures Cooking Adventure Show or something.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to talk to him. What else, Andrew? You want to mention anything else before we go?
No, not really. Just put put your name down at rwindapp.com and get on the list. We are working on the Android version, which is almost getting there at the moment, and we'll have a beta going out. We're hoping to do that by the end of this week to a few people, such as yourself, Steve, and Jody and Jen, who can hopefully help test the product for us while we wait for that to come through the store. But yeah, so just a little plug for myself there. So be sure to check that out.
We need to get you on the show and interview you about it, and just dedicate this show to you for 1 hour.
That seems like a long time. I don't know if I'd be interesting for that long.
Because you're doing other things as well.
You are interesting. We can put Miles on if you get, tired.
Exactly. Miles is starting to do that sort of baby talking, the goo gaga stuff. So he's a lot of fun at the moment. Can we mention where you're going next week, or is that still under wraps? I think we can. We had who did we have on?
Dominic from
Dominic. Yes, we had Dominic on a couple of, I think, 2 weeks ago from that startup show in Melbourne, and I actually caught up with them during the week and went down and did a casting call and have been accepted to be a part of this month's That Startup Show. Filmed in Melbourne on August the 28th. So I will be, I'll be pitching under Dan Illick, who will be hosting the show, who is a comedian. I'll be pitching Zafo and the Rewind app on that startup show, and we'll actually be creating a little Rewind video on, at the time, there's about 250 people who'll be in the room, and so we're going to have a good bit of fun, and I'll do what I can and pitch and have a chat with a whole bunch of people.
Can you give us a sample, Andrew, of what you're going to say there? Give us a sample of what you're going to say there, if you can.
Ooh, okay. All I'm really going to do is talk about what I've done with the Zafo business and the things that we have learnt from that, positive and negative.
Yep.
And just talk a little bit about some of what we've been up to at the moment at Zafo Proprietary Limited.
And how long do you have to talk about that?
I've got 5 minutes, Brad. So the whole show goes for about 1 hour.
Yep.
It's a similar format, I guess, to what we do here.
Yep.
The first half of the show is panelists talking about technology and what's happened of recent. And the second part is a pitch. There'll be 3 separate entrepreneur startup businesses, and they'll all pitch what they're actually doing and what they've been up to. And the judges will decide on an awesome startup to go through to the grand final. And they'll also decide on a people's choice. So after 6 shows, they choose the best one of the whole series, and they get a free trip over to San Francisco to pitch their wares to all the cool kids out there.
Can I have it if you win?
No.
Oh, okay. Jody, do you get much into startup stuff?
I'm sorry?
Do you get much into startup stuff? Startup?
I follow bits and pieces of it, but not probably as heavily as Andrew.
Yeah, same. What about you, Jennifer?
I should follow more, but I'm definitely am extremely interested in startups because that's just kind of, it's anything new and cool is fun to keep track of and to see if it's going to be successful, which I'm really impressed with what you're doing, Andrew. I mean, so I'm excited for this opportunity for you, and just keep us posted.
Definitely.
Really it should be a whole lot of fun. I really appreciate that, guys.
And it'll be on YouTube the next day, right, Andrew, so people can watch it?
I think it takes about a week or two. So there's YouTube distribution, and there's a couple other channels that they're looking at the moment. But the first episode is available now. So if you just go to thatstartupshow.tv, you can purchase tickets for the second startup show, which is on August the 28th in Melbourne. But you can also click through there to their YouTube and have a look at the first show, which was a whole lot of fun. And it goes for about an hour. So grab a coffee or grab a beer or something and sit down and have a look at it.
All right, good stuff. And Andrew, what's your phone of this show? And we're going to get hold of you, mate.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun chatting to Lucas about Aussie Pickers. And as I said, it's great to talk to someone a little bit more outside technology. He's a whole lot of fun. And if you want to get a hold of me, you can see me on Facebook and Twitter as Cunning Drew. Or you can grab me on the Zafo app at Andrew. And, or shoot me an email or something. And, yeah.
All right. And you can get me on Twitter at Brad Oz and Techwebcast. Jennifer, what about you?
And you can get me at jenniferruggiero.com or getnerdywithit.com.
Good stuff. And how's your podcast going, Jennifer?
It is going fine. It's going fine. We were supposed to be talking with dronelife.com, someone from dronelife.com named Jason Reagan here shortly. So, looking good.
Cool. And where did you buy your drone from? Where did you buy yours from?
I just got mine through work. We're starting to sell them at work. It's a Parrot drone from,
really?
I think it's parrot.com. Yeah.
You got it for free?
No, I didn't. I got it half. I got it on sale. So I did get it on sale with an employee discount, but now for free. I had to pay for it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Jody, what about you?
Oh, you can find me most of the usual places as either Jody Rains or at my website, webmarcom.net. That's pretty much a great show tonight. Always love it when Lucas Callahan comes on, and just a great personality. He glows through the telephone, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. I hope you two get to meet one day.
You know what? I definitely am going to be coming over to Australia one day. You're seriously on my bucket list.
When?
I mean, I feel like we've known each other forever, and yet we've never actually shaken.
It's been 4 years.
Hands. What's that?
It's been 4 years since we known each other on the show.
It's scary, isn't it? I know.
Has it been 4 years? Wow.
And yes, Steve. And what about you? When would you be coming to Australia? Steve?
I've already been once. I'm waiting for you to come over here.
Man.
Of course, I've been to Sydney, but
go ahead. Where can they get hold of you, mate?
You can find me on Twitter as Chatterbox_live.
All right, good stuff. And you want to mention anything about your show next week, or?
I tell you the truth, I forgot the channel. I think it's of course now Ustream.tv channel Chat TV. I think that's what it is. I'll have to shorten it somehow.
Yeah, I got the pro plan for $4 a month. That's pretty good with no ads.
Oh, was that you? Oh, okay. Yeah, you mentioned that in the chat room.
Yep. All right, Andrew, thanks for being on, mate. You're a champion.
Thanks, Brad. It's a lot of fun as always. Thanks, Steve, Jen, and Jody. Always great to be on the show.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for being on, and we'll be back next week. And Jody, try and find a meat pie to eat. If you can.
Yep.
It sounds obscene.
It does.
Techwebcast. The hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Techwebcast. 'Cause technology, it moves so fast. Techwebcast. Ha! Stick around and you're gonna have a blast. Yeah! Techwebcast. Ha! Ha! Techwebcast. Big ups to Andrew, to Brad, Jody, Steve, and Jennifer. Boom!